Greetings everyone, Dominic for another How I Solve It with Client. In today's session, I want to explore how we can improve transparency in your projects through efficient status updates. We all know that keeping everyone informed is crucial for your project success. So I want to review a few challenges, best practice to overcome them, and then eventually how client can help on that. So let's start by looking at some challenges. First one, keeping everyone on the same page. We all know that it's tough to ensure that all team members and stakeholders has the same understanding of the project, as miscommunication can lead to confusion and eventually setbacks. Then especially when it comes to meeting evolving expectations, the project will change over times and then the expectations might evolve. So we need to make sure that everyone has the same understanding of the project. Taming the he who shall not be named, aka scope creep, is also a good challenge. This could derail timelines and budget if we're not monitoring correctly. Maintaining the team morale and implications. So if we're not sending regular updates, the team members might feel disconnected or undervalued. So you want to keep that part of your routine. Managing the budget, we all know that it is crucial. So if we're not providing transparent updates, it could lead to bad surprises that no one likes to manage. So best practices that can help us alleviate those challenges. First, address changes promptly. So when it arises, talk with the team, make sure that everyone is aligned with the new direction if there's any changes. That can be supported by a consistent reporting schedule. So if you're building the habit of sending every weekly, bi-weekly, the team will be expecting that, and we'll make sure that we have that touch point that we have to make sure that we're keeping us aligned. Keep those clear and concise. Be straightforward, go to the point, don't go through too much fuss. We want to make sure that we are getting the point of what you're trying to convey. And one thing that can help on that is highlighting just a few key metrics. So that as we are evolving in the projects, we're always looking at the same metrics. That will help also getting an overall feeling of the project progress. And then final, but very important, in sending it to the key stakeholders and the sponsors. They are your team. They are your, they will help you supporting the project. So the decision makers needs to be in there. Maybe not just the PMs on the customer side, but also the sponsor is always often helpful. So without further ado, let me show you how we can do that in Client. So starting here on a client project record page, I'm going to reach my project status report, a sub tab I like to do on my page layout just to focus on the key information for that process. So here I have a few rags with my project health and budget schedule and scope indicators. Eventually we're going to use the pictures here, the images, to have a visual cue on the report, and some key fields, mainly on this example, hours. So hours estimated versus logged. You could have different fields here that you want to display based on the way you're delivering your projects. And then obviously some notes, details, what we're trying to convey. This is where we need to keep it clean and concise. Probably not being shy of addressing issues, addressing some warnings on maybe too much meetings we're having. So you want to make sure that this is conveyed clearly to the team. This is where we need to address the issue when it starts and not when it's too late. On top of that, we could have homeworks. We could also have roadblocks. What we're working on, what we completed. So just keep it simple, but provide where we stand with the project here. If you're doing it weekly, what did you do the last week and what's upcoming? Then I like to take a snapshot maybe of a project plan where you could have more columns showing a bit more detailed information, the timeline, what's completed, what's not. And then also a snapshot of a report where I'm showing uninvoiced hours. So, in between invoices so that there are no surprises. It will also provide information on what we worked on in the last days, weeks. So I think that's kind of interesting also for the customer to know. Based on that, we have one click here where we can access that report, which is basically a summary of what we just looked at. But from here, we can easily send the email directly from our project. So selecting an email template, that can, provide some consistency amongst the team and how we're sending that. Here, selecting the main contacts, stakeholders, sponsors that we've identified on the account, so that we can hit next and send the email right from here. So as we're using a email template, we can format that with some key information right in the email, or and provide more or less detail in the email body itself. But we always have that PDF document that is attached, which will also attach to your project the same way, so you can keep those historical artifacts and how the project progressed. So sending that will process through your email and send directly to the customer. So hopefully that it was helpful. You find some insight on how you can improve your transparency and provide quick updates to your customer using Project Status Report. Any question, reach out to support@klient.com. It will be a pleasure to discuss further. Thanks. Have a great day.